not shooting, it's editing that makes the difference in all of the projects, whether it's a commercial or a 2.5 hour movie. Because you can control the pace and the tempo and the intensity. Hey, think back to House, the opening sequence of House. When he's sitting there in the strip club, and I want to talk to y'all about that, and I want to ask y'all a question about that in a minute. But think of how many edits did they have? Boom, 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 boom. Maybe just of his eye on one side of his face, and then with the black and white, we saw people that looked like they were bleeding and had been damaged, and it's pop, 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 and then you got the dancer in front of him with pop, 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 and why did they do that? That sets the tone right there. Well, now that you've seen the whole episode, why did they do it that way in that moment? Tell me about House's condition. He's scatterbrained at the moment. He was just involved in a fatal, it didn't kill him, but it killed others, or it badly wounded a bunch of people. And so he really he's just not right mentally. And so by editing it like that, he can't focus on anything for any stretch of time. 1 second is about all, and he can't put them together. So that's perfect editing wise. Other edits in the show, when they first put him under hypnosis, remember that? The doctor's sitting across from him, he's sitting in the chair, and he's skeptical. He knows this is not going to work.
Please pardon this interruption.
All right, remember this? Listen, he said he's skeptical. He's even making a comment about it, and in the middle of his comment, bam, where is it? He's on the bus. He was sitting in a chair in an office, and in the middle of his sentence, he got transported to the bus, and the doctor's with him on the bus. Remember that?
Yes.
And then his buddy Wilson, who is in the office, does this, but it looks like he's on the bus doing it, and then we switch back, and he's in the office doing it, saying, does this really work? Boom! We're back on the bus, and now Wilson's on the bus. All those things happened just like that. It was a flow of things. And in the middle of it, boom, we're in the bar. And we didn't miss a beat. It was perfect editing. That's why I show this to all my classes. I mean, editing made that whole show. The sequence, when they finally show us the crash, right? And it seems like that bus skids 1.5 miles. But in reality, what was it? Maybe a couple of seconds it would have been hit. It would have slid and then it would have stopped. And see, with editing, we can draw it out. We slow it down. We emphasize the close-up. Emmanuel, are you with me? Yeah, take those out so I'll know better. We emphasize them. They're trying to reach each other's hands, and we got a close-up of it, and it's just like, and then boom. That could have saved her life if he had been able to hold on. We don't know. But we emphasize that through editing. Okay. So that's what editing can do. And then the other day I told you, if you're just starting out and you just need some help knowing when to edit, here's some things that you should remember. The first one is the most important. If you're going to change scenes, there needs to be a reason for it. So your edit needs to be motivated by something. You understand that? Give me an example.
Like, did you change your wigs because you don't like that hair?
No. Yes. Exactly. If he's on screen and he's clearly looking at something, well, guess what? We need to go somewhere. Where? To what he's looking at. He was motivated by something. Okay? Movement. If somebody starts to get up out of a chair, perfect time to make a cut there. Or like we were just talking about, House, we do an edit on House as he talks. It's a perfect one because they splice it right in the middle. It's motivated. What? Not important, right? Okay. All right. So those two, that should help you get started. The other stuff is stuff that you might not know yet. B-roll. B-roll is the non-action part of your scene. All right? let's say Trey is the main character in my scene. All right, when we do the scene the first time, I'm focusing on whatever it is he does or wherever he goes in the scene. I'm gonna follow him with the camera and all that stuff. All right, the rest of you are extras in this scene. So maybe we'll do the scene, focusing on him. Then I'll say, cut, good, all right, let's set up. Let's do that scene all over again. You do exactly the same thing, except this time I'm focusing on Jay. And all you're doing is watching him. Okay? And then the next, we'll do it again, and I'll focus on somebody else. Maybe a wide shot. He does the same thing. And then I'll take all of this film back into a room, and I'll put it together, intercutting all of these things. Remember the guy coming down the steps in that one video I showed you?
Yeah.
Do you? If we had filmed him the whole time, it would have taken 15 seconds. Maybe we only had 3 to 5 second window to fit this in. I can't put all of it in there, besides it's boring. All I gotta do is what they did. There are 2 things he did. One, he had a shot of just the feet going down the steps. So he put that in the middle, so he was at the top, he's walking, boom, feet, boom, he's down the stairs. That's all you need. He went down the stairs, we know, we get it. A hallway, how about the other one? Where the guy was looking at him coming down the stairs. Those are B-roll things, and they're really important. Now, when you go out and get your first job on a production unit, it won't be the first thing you do, but sometimes they'll give a camera to a junior member of the crew and say, you're gonna shoot the B-roll for us. B-roll, God, B-roll, that's not the main action. But do you see how important it is? Okay, so when we start doing projects again, think about, we gotta have some B-roll, because we need stuff to cut in to make it more interesting, to keep it going. All right, the last 2, hard to make a definition for it. But number 4 says, when your visual statement is made, you stop filming. Every scene that you shoot has a point. If it doesn't have a point, you don't need to be shooting it. Okay, so you're shooting your scene and you've made your point, time to go. This is a hard thing for people to understand. It's just like watching a comedy skit that's hilarious. And then they keep going. And it's no longer funny. If they had known when to stop, it would have been good. You've seen stuff like that, right? It makes you funny, doesn't it? Bang! Not funny anymore. It was good. But your scenes are the same way. If I'm watching it, I'm like, oh man, this is really good. Oh, they're not good. Oh. It ruins it. It ruins it. But only you are gonna know that. And then the last one, if you're not real sure, do I need to edit right here or not? If you can't decide, then don't edit. Leave it the way it is. Okay? If you're not sure, it's better to let it play out than it is to cut something that you might really need. Okay? Okay. Now the 3, that's a review. We already talked about that. Yep. All right. The 3 things that I want you to know that are new today are over here. The main things that editing allows us to do. First one is the most important one. It allows us to shoot out of order. We don't have to go and shoot our movie exactly like they're going to see it when it's in the theater. Think about that. If you had to do it that way. Let's say we got a scene at Hampton Raceway. All right? Great. There's no other place that offers that kind of background. This is where we got to shoot it. So we load up all of our stuff, and we go down there and we shoot it because that's the scene. But our next scene's in an office. All right, pack everything up. We got to haul it and go. Man, do you know how long it would take to do a movie? Forever. It would be impossible, and it would cost $1 gazillion. Thankfully, editing allows us to shoot it out of order, stay on the same location, and film as many things as you can at that location, and then bring it back, and then we'll put it in the order that we want it to be in. When film was born, they didn't have editing, but they also didn't leave the room. They did the whole scene in the same place with one camera and no camera angles. Let's think about that. How would you like to watch a movie in wide shots all the way through? It's like going to a play. Cause and plays are good, but it's a different kind of experience. Okay. The second thing editing allows us to do is recombine the audio and the video. Let's say I've got a great scene. I found this location. It's a creek. And I'm going to have, let's just say, my main character is running from somebody. And then, did I show you what movie of Mice and Men? Did I show that one to you?
No.
I did? Of Mice and Men. The big guy. No, I'll show it to you. But there's a scene there where they're running from somebody and they stop at a creek. It's a beautiful scene, all right? So let's say you get to there and you shoot that scene, but the creek is not giving you the sound that you wanted. You wanted that little babbling brook sound. What are you going to do? We can't shoot here. It's not making a sound. No! Shoot it! And we'll go and find a stream somewhere and record it. Just the audio of it. Then we'll put the audio of that on the video of this. Now we've made something that wasn't real. Editing allows you to recombine. Think of it like a soundtrack. Shooting a music video. They don't shoot it and have to have the music playing exactly on the shots and all that. Now, a lot of times they do. A lot of times they'll play it just to give the artist or whatever a feel for it. But that's not the sound that they use. They're going to put the sound on it later. Editing allows us to do that. Third thing, it lets us control transition. What is a transition? Right. A transition is moving to the next scene. Okay? It's a change. If we did not have editing, all we would ever see are straight cuts. And that's fine. It can work. It worked on House. That's what those were. Those were straight cuts. At the beginning, there was no dissolve. There was no white. There was no special effect. Except at the end, when they were finally, and House already, went berserk and fried and all that stuff, and Amber's dead. They got them both. It's a shot from above, looking down. You remember this? Mm-hmm. One's of House, and we've got a voiceover of Omar Epps' character talking about House and what happened to him. And then it gradually changes from the scene of House to a scene of Amber laying there in the same position. That's called a dissolve. One gradually replaces the other. And it's a different feeling. Why is that perfect in that sense? Because they're both dying or dead. They're related. The reason why they're both dying or dead is because they were together. It's meant to make that connection. If you wanted to have a scene where you were trying to, let's say, Camille is dreaming about her life love, okay? And then the next, we're going to dissolve from her out into whoever it is she's dreaming of. For a brief moment, they're both on a screen at the same time. And then it becomes the other. We have now made an emotional connection between those two that wouldn't have been the same as a straight cut. You can be dreaming about somebody. If we go straight cut to that somebody, that's not the same thing. What?
When did somebody get on the Breakfast Club with the car and the rocket?
Yeah, very good. Very good. Very good. These are connections that are made. Sometimes you're going to want a screen to be pushed off the screen by another scene. Or nowadays, all these special effects, those are called wipes. Okay? You can do them in any kind of direction. Maybe have it spin from the inside out. All these things. But it needs to match whatever it is that your scene's about. If you did one of those and what we had with House, it would have ruined House. So a lot of times with beginning filmmakers, because we got so many toys to play with now with special effects, we want to use them. Man, let's use it. This looks cool, but it doesn't go with your story. You can't use it. Have y'all ever seen reruns of Home Improvement?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't really watch it that much, but it's a show about a show. It's a show about a home improvement show. Okay, so whenever they had transitions, let's say they had a transition of a guy. They had a guy doing painting with a roller paint. The scene would be disappeared by the You see what I'm saying? Or maybe somebody was sawing, they would saw the scene in half to be replaced by another scene. That worked, because the show was about that. It wouldn't work with this. This is different. You understand? If we did not have editing, we could not do these things. It's very important. Now, I'm gonna show you some examples of the 10, that they say, most famous edits in movie history. I'd say some of them I agree with, but I want you to see.